Hey guys, how's it going? So for this video, I am really looking forward to discussing and analyzing the potential appearance of Walter White in the plot of Better Call Saul as we now enter the show's 5th season later this year.
Now, say my name.
Okay, so following the recent announcement that Bryan Cranston is reportedly going to reprise his iconic role as Walter White in the plot of the upcoming Breaking Bad movie, this of course at the same time has also raised the question of could we also correspondingly end up seeing Walter White appear in the plot of Better Call Saul later this year as well, at some point in time prior to the conclusion of Season 5. And so, with this question in mind, just as I discussed prior to the premiere of Season 4, in my opinion, the most seemingly logical way by which Walter White could hypothetically appear in the plot of Better Call Saul would still seemingly be via a brush-by sort of cameo, the exact potential of which has even been openly proposed and discussed by Bryan Cranston himself. Now, to go even a step further, on the surface, as all perceptive fans of both Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad are surely aware, the most seemingly obvious and commonsensical way that this brush-by cameo appearance by Walter White could most naturally take place in the plot of Better Call Saul next season would ostensibly still be via a scene of Saul Goodman getting his car washed at the exact same A1A car wash that Walter White worked at as part of the plot of Breaking Bad. And so, with this premise in mind, in order for us to continue to dissect this premise surrounding an appearance by Walter White in the plot of Better Call Saul of this exact aforementioned capacity, we now need to take a look at the specific concrete details that were displayed to us in the plot of Breaking Bad that directly pertain to this proposed hypothetical appearance by Walter White next season. Okay, so when we were first introduced to Walter Hartwell White during the pilot episode of Breaking Bad, we saw that he was currently working 2 jobs, both as a chemistry teacher at J.P. Wynn High School, as well as a cashier / very unwilling short-handed wipe-down man at the A1A car wash. However, following his diagnosis of then terminal lung cancer later in this same episode, this diagnosis then caused Walter White to quit his job working at the car wash in dramatic fashion to say the least, in order to instead use this time to begin his journey of manufacturing and distributing methamphetamine in order to leave money for his financially unstable family following his death.
Come on, man. Fuck you, Bogdan. What? I said fuck you! And your eyebrows! Wipe down this!
And so, due to the fact that we know for certain that Walter White quit his job at the car wash during the very first episode of Season 1 of Breaking Bad, this then means that Walter White stopped working at the car wash in either the year 2008 or 2009, depending on how you currently view the overtly inconsistent and unestablished timeline of Breaking Bad, which I have discussed in depth and at length in a previous video that I will link in the description. Now, that being said, the reason why the specific year that Walter White quit working his job at the A1A car wash is particularly important in regards to this specific theoretical appearance by Walter White in the plot of Better Call Saul next season is due to the fact that we then heard in the plot of Season 3 of Breaking Bad in the episode entitled Abiquiu, Walt specifically state to Saul Goodman that he worked at this car wash for 4 years, during a scene relating to the plot involving Walt and Skyler attempting to purchase this same car wash that Walt used to work at as a front to launder his drug money.
That's it? That's what you want to buy?
People will believe it, at least. I worked here for 4 years.
Wax on, wax off. Was that you? Hey, how come you guys always give with the air freshener?
And so, due to the fact that we know from the episode entitled Something Stupid that Season 4 of Better Call Saul concluded in early 2004, if we then take this dialogue by Walter White in this scene at face value, simple math will then indicate that depending on how you view the timeline of Breaking Bad, Walter White either started working at the A1A car wash in either the year 2004 or the year 2005. This then means that according to the 2008 to 2010 timeline hypothesis, which directly ties to the plot synopsis of Better Call Saul, Walter White apparently started working at the A1A car wash at some point in time during the plot of Season 5 of Better Call Saul in the year 2004. However, if we instead decide to go by the 2009 to 2011 timeline hypothesis, which directly ties to Walter White's divorce papers that we saw in Season 3 of Breaking Bad in the episode entitled Moss, this would then instead mean that Walter White did not start working at the A1A car wash until the year 2005, and thus one entire calendar year would need to pass in the timeline of Season 5 of Better Call Saul before a scene of this nature featuring Walter White and Saul Goodman could theoretically take place. Furthermore, continuing along this same line of thought, due to the fact that Saul Goodman seemed to be quite surprised to hear that Walt had worked at the A1A car wash for 4 years prior to their business relationship. In my opinion, if a scene of this exact nature was to ever occur in the plot of Better Call Saul next season, it appears that any actual interaction between these two characters, as opposed to Walter White just appearing in the background of this scene, would seemingly have to be incredibly shallow and essentially uneventful in a manner that would make sure that this meeting was in no way ingrained in the memory of either of these two characters in order to avoid a potential error in continuity. For example, in the same vein as the brush-by interaction of Leonel Salamanca and Saul Goodman during the scene that took place in the plot of Season 4 of Better Call Saul in the episode entitled Something Beautiful, when their paths momentarily crossed at the veterinarian's office. And so, now with all of this background information surrounding this theoretical scene featuring Walter White and Saul Goodman now being taken into consideration, while we seem to know that based on the plot and dialogue of Breaking Bad, it would be technically possible for a scene of this nature to hypothetically occur at some point in time as part of the plot of Season 5 of Better Call Saul notwithstanding, the more pertinent question regarding the scene and appearance by Walter White nonetheless seems to be, will the creators actually ever decide to place a scene of this nature in the plot of Better Call Saul next season? Because in my opinion, while it's obviously impossible to know for certain the exact intentions of the creators in regards to Walter White ever appearing at some point in time in the plot of Better Call Saul, I do have the strong feeling nonetheless that a brush-by cameo scene of this nature featuring Walter White will likely not occur in the plot of Better Call Saul next season. Because in my opinion, as we have to remember, at this current point in the timeline of Better Call Saul in the year 2004, Walter White is in absolutely no way directly affiliated with any character that has appeared in the plot of Better Call Saul as of the conclusion of Season 4. Which of course then means that this hypothetical appearance by Walter White via a brush-by cameo would then in no way have to do with the storyline of the scene that he appears in, and would also certainly, from a literary storytelling perspective, completely overshadow the scene which he appears in as well, and would instead evidently make this scene completely focused on the appearance of the iconic protagonist of Breaking Bad. And so, at the end of the day, speaking only for myself, while I personally, as a fan of Better Call Saul, would in many ways absolutely love to see Walter White appear in the plot of Better Call Saul via a brush-by cameo scene next season, in the same vein as the exact one described in this video, which based on the dialogue from the plot of Breaking Bad could certainly be possible, I nonetheless think that due to the enormously vast degree of separation that Walter White presently has from the universe of Better Call Saul at the current point in the timeline to start Season 5 in the year 2004, in addition to all of the aforementioned literary challenges that would certainly come with incorporating Walter White into a scene of this nature in the plot of Better Call Saul next season as well, at this point in time, I really do not foresee the creators incorporating a cameo appearance of the iconic protagonist from the plot of Breaking Bad into the plot of Better Call Saul, just for the sake of a cameo appearance next season. But when all is said and done, even though I do not foresee Walter White appearing in the plot of Better Call Saul at some point in time prior to the conclusion of Season 5, we still can be aware of the fact that throughout all of the sound and fury that has and is going to continue to take place as part of the plot of Better Call Saul next season, Walter White is currently somewhere out there in Albuquerque and is ultimately in 4 to 5 years in the future, like a metaphorical cancer, going to enter and effectively destroy all of the parts that make up this entire universe and virtually all of the characters who currently inhabit it. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video and also want to see additional videos where I discuss and analyze the plot of the upcoming 5th season of Better Call Saul, then make sure you check out some of the other videos about the 5th season of Better Call Saul on my channel, and definitely make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any new videos leading up to the highly anticipated premiere of Season 5 of Better Call Saul. As always, my name is Anton Jackson. Thanks again for watching.